I saw that. I tried to use her.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to the show here on the live stream, Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast. You can see it on the shirt. This is the merch right here. If somebody stopped playing, we could get that merch out to y'all. But Ethan and Tim playing around, so not to throw nobody under the bus. But go. But yeah, we trying to get the merch out there. If y'all want to copy a shirt, y'all see me around town, give me a shout out. I'll be repping the shirt for the next couple weeks until my letters wrinkle up and fall off from the wash machine. But but you can catch us on our platforms, that we on. If you don't catch the live show, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram. Here we go. And the Instagram, I think I said that. But here we are. It's a lot for one. This is a jam-packed show. A lot going on between. I ain't used that in a while. I got to pull that back out again. But this is a packed show, though, in all honesty. There's so much going on in the NBA. So many different possibilities. That's another crazy part. But we're going to start with the Sixers. We're going to talk about KD, where he just talking about he wanted to leave, so forth and so on. And Kyrie and the possible where he going to go. But let's talk about the Sixers. Sixers made a couple moves, draft time, and then signing PJ Tucker. What do y'all think that means for the Sixers, and what else do y'all think need to be done? What's up, D Marcus? Shout out. Go ahead.
Well,
okay, I can keep going.
All right,
don't get me started.
Okay, so here's the thing: the fellas, they not too happy about the trade or the signing, and I think Wayne is an ingredient. Like it's bitter. It's not bittersweet, but it's some good.
Let Wayne speak for himself, so I control him.
All right, it's some good and some bad. First of all, I like the signing because we needed that toughness. We needed a tough. We didn't have it in the playoffs, and we got shut down. And the playoffs is a big difference than regular season basketball. And we saw when we needed that toughness, that when they got physical, when they played the half court game, all that Tobias Harris, everybody that was going up and down, flying up and down, doing those things, it didn't mean nothing. So we needed a tough-minded, somebody who's tough. Draymond Green is 6'6". He's not this big athletic guy, but he's tough. Golden State's not going to win all of them championships without having Draymond Green on their roster.
Facts.
And so then you look at you need that type of physical person. I know y'all looking at his age. I get it, and I'm concerned about his age too. I'm not going to say that it's not warranted. You don't know when the body's going to start breaking down. But we needed this type of player, and so I'm right now, and I'm okay with that signing.
Ethan, I'll mute your mic before you talk, but go ahead.
I'm not okay with that signing. It was a knee-jerk reaction. You asked me. He has a 3-year fully guaranteed contract, which he'll be 40 still with the Sixers. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Look at the talent pool. Stop just thinking that's the best thing right there. 37. Listen, you can find talent. You can develop talent. You can get a young athletic boy to come in and do what he did. I don't know what Bobby Portis is demanding, but he's a free agent too. To me, it was a knee-jerk reaction. Is Daryl Morey back to the same the Bulls that he liked, his fellas? Because PJ was over there in Houston winning. He's putting the team back together. He's putting the band, and the band never did nothing when they was together. So you're putting the band back together that sank with the Titanic. Like now they gonna win. Come on, man. These dudes you can find better talent. Just like when you look at teams that's winning, like Golden State, they found Poole. They added. They didn't find a retread to throw in there. Andrew Wiggins was a young up and coming ball. Find somebody like that. Come on with the old retreads. This is the same thing. This dude has no vision. How do you even get the job? I want to do with some vision for the future. He here now. Just like I said with them whack trades he did. I don't like.
Well, for one,
shout out to Dominic.
For one, I think that some of that stuff is looking back. Sorry if my signal a little janky. I'm on the road, but
no, you good right now. Go ahead.
Let's keep it a beam. When Golden State got Andrew Wiggins, wasn't nobody talking about how great Andrew Wiggins was.
I was. We was.
How much of a disappointment.
We was.
You were sure talking about how great he was in Minnesota? I don't remember those conversations.
First of all, hold on. Don't do like these ESPN dudes. He was always a good player. He was always a good scorer. He wasn't great. He was always a good scorer.
I don't
Let
ever.
Wayne go ahead. Let
my-
Wayne
the
give
point-
it. Go ahead. His
So
opinion. Go ahead.
anyway, as I was saying, my thing is about the PJ Tucker thing. I'm not ecstatic. I mixed emotions with it because you telling me if you had a PJ Tucker instead of George Niang, who was a younger player that you could develop and we liked him during the regular season when he came in and he was hitting them shots and we was talking about that's what we need, minivan. And then when the playoffs hit, you know what I'm saying, he was non-existent. So all I'm saying is PJ Tucker is an upgrade from what we had. That being said, I would like to have some more. I do like the guy Milton. I like Milton that they got in here. Some of us wasn't happy about them getting Melton, but Melton is a defensive player that's a young up-and-coming player, a player that stepped up when Ja Morant was out. So they made those moves. And that being said, about Houston with the old band back together, the old band ain't have Joel Embiid. So no matter what, the linchpin for everything is what kind of shape and what Harden we get next season. Maxey, I think Maxey's going to be better. I do think that Paul Reed can be improved. I do think that the Sixers made some moves, but other teams are going to make moves too. So it remains to be seen how great it is.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Shout out to the comment section. Somebody earlier, I think it was D. Marcus said Wayne was looking like Karl Malone, and Mr. Wayne said he come with the 3,000 thread Egyptian blinds in the back. But I do agree with a little bit with Tim and Wayne, but I also agree with Ethan a lot. I'm kind of torn. I do think me and Ethan mentioned the name Bobby Portis a lot when we was talking about another dude you could get. Not saying he was the guy per se, but saying
he signed for 4 years, $49 million today.
Bobby Portis.
4 years, 49
with the Bucks.
Yeah, resigned.
They resigned him.
We probably could have got that. We probably could have got him for 50.
See, do we got enough money to get
do
him?
We got 50?
Yeah, I don't
got
know.
That?
I don't know. I do think what's his name? I want to say Butler. What's the dude we just signed? What's his name? The one we just signed. PJ Tucker.
I think Harden forced that.
For some reason, I keep wanting to call him Karan Butler. PJ Tucker was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I do think. I think they know what they needed. There was probably somebody in the Sixers organization was listening to this show. I promise you, because all I kept saying, me and Ethan kept saying was, and we all kind of agreed, they needed some heart. They needed that Draymond type player. They needed that Bobby Portis type player. They needed that Marcus Smart type player that was going to get in everybody behind. That was going to be like, yo, listen, we need some toughness.
That's my point.
They got it. Now, I hope they was listening enough to get an athlete. Because one of the things I keep saying is we're not athletic enough. So I do think we need a Andrew Wiggins type athlete, or at least a Collins from Atlanta type athlete. You don't necessarily have to be the best scorer, but an athlete could be a very good defender. He can run the floor very well in transition and get fast break buckets. I think we need that. Is the PJ Tucker a deal that's going to take us to the next level? No. I still think now I will say I did my homework. I think DMX, I think it was DXM, I forget how you say his name. He posted something in the chat on one of our videos of the boy Anthony Melton. And I did the homework. I was impressed with what I saw. He was athletic. Matter of fact, the first highlight I saw, he was jumping out the building, dunking on somebody. So they showed he was active on defense. His knockdown three, especially in the corner, I think was crazy high. It was like 60% or something outrageous from the corner, which is Danny Green's spot where he probably shoot like 32% from. But that's neither here nor there. But that's a great move. So right now, you combine those two, I think it makes it better than it was last year. But
don't forget the guy House that we got too. He's a career 40% free throw 3-point shooter.
And he played with Harden too out in Houston.
Yeah.
But I mean, what y'all gotta understand is like what you getting from PJ Tucker is the same thing, like you said with Marcus Smart and Draymond. None of them boys are athletes, but they're physical beings out there. And then what you get from PJ is you got those intangibles. You need those intangibles. Remember
what's
how
up, Fred Motley? What's up? I'm sorry.
Remember how the Brett Brown? He wanted a bunch of good guys on our team, and I think this is why the reason why we had a soft squad all them years, because he just wanted nice international players, just some people that he can control. You need the physical, mentally tough guys on your roster, and we finally
guys that can score the ball.
Say it again.
All that don't work if you don't got a guy that can score the ball.
We got scores. You got Maxey, you got Harden, you got Embiid and Tobias. All four of them can score the ball. What we were missing was the physicalness of the league, of the playoff basketball. Them type role players. We didn't have them. We finally getting them on our roster. This is a good thing. My only concern is the age. I'm not gonna lie, the age concerns me.
I think you could have got a younger athletic boy that can give you what Tucker does, man.
For that money, who was it?
Yeah,
that you was
right for less.
Who?
That's their job to go out and search. That's their job to find. But hold on, but y'all always screaming who? This is what I'm talking about. Y'all like Maury. Y'all like Maury. Y'all sitting there. Oh, let's get Tucker. This is what you got all these scouts and everything for. Come on, man.
The same way.
No sense. Y'all got your point off. It don't make no sense that all these other teams keep getting these young up and coming, keep building their team through the draft, through these nice free agents with these young up and coming players, and we got to build our whole team. Almost our whole team is through free agency. Come on, man.
Yeah, but see, that's not Maury. Maury didn't deplete. It wasn't Maury that did these draft picks, all these picks that we had. Maury ain't the one that drafted all these players. So right now, what he's doing is, and I'm not putting Maury still got to prove itself. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to hold him accountable for the years of horrible drafting that we did. We did years of horrible drafting under Brett Brown and the what's the guy, the process dude. We want to give him all these praise. He had all those draft picks. He had a lot of duds in there. So I agree with you about our scouting. I've been saying that for years, but I'm not putting that on Maury. Right now, Maury's taking what he has and he's trying to put the team together. And I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, I do see, that's why I agree with Ethan, though. It's about, like, I see these other teams, especially the gold standard and Golden State. These dudes supposed to get paid top dollar to find the needle in the haystack, to find the dude who can say the Jordan Poole, to find the Toscado Andersons. Like, this what they get paid for, to make a great trade like a Wiggins who fits your system, and everybody, national media calling Wiggins a bum and he trash and he'll never do nothing. And the dude was probably the second runner-up for Finals MVP. Like, that's what y'all supposed to do. Like, y'all supposed to find them cats. Your life is basketball and scouting and recruiting and going to games. Like, it's certain times we can see people and pick people out and be like, yo, he'd be great for the team. And they act like they don't know these people exist or something. I don't know. But it's like, if this is your life, y'all should be able to pull somebody.
But is that on Maury? But is that on Maury right now? I agree with you about the history of our team. Is it on Maury right now? Maury didn't draft this team. He wasn't doing the draft picks.
Maury's hand is on all over this team now at this point. But DeMarcus, you said, do you think that Embiid got it another level? I don't know.
Embiid's other level to me has to be seeing the floor, reacting quicker out the double team, making a quicker pass or a quicker move. That's his next level. Embiid has to see the floor better, see the double coming, be able to either pass or make a move. That, to me, Embiid has to do that. That's the next level to me.
Ayton went to Indiana. Indiana should win the championship now. They got Halliburton, Hill. Now they got Ayton. Ain't no reason Indiana shouldn't be top seed, right?
Hold on.
That's what somebody said.
You said, hold on. You said Ayton. You said Indiana should win a chip because they got Ayton.
No, but they got Halliburton and Hill too. But they got Halliburton and Hill too.
No, you said because they got come on, man. All he is a rebounder, shot blocker. They already had the other dude. I don't know why they got him. What's the other center they had? I can't think of his name.
Who, Miles?
Yeah.
Miles power forward, him a center.
Yo, I don't think Ayton went anywhere.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. Somebody who that? Matter of fact, I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, some Chinese hieroglyphics.
Somebody put some gossip in our chat.
Yeah, we can't trust that. Now, but that actually takes us to our next point, though, about Kevin Durant. I mean,
wait, before you get to that, I just read this comment.
We at the 12-minute mark.
He said, did everyone just wake up from a coma except him? But day one of negotiation, Maury did what he could, plus the draft night trade. Can't finalize free agent signings until July 6th.
I mean, where did I just wake up from a coma? I'm sitting here saying the exact same thing about Maury. Maury ain't get the free. Maury didn't draft the players that we have drafted in here. Maury didn't draft Thibault.
All right, but now And you're right, but check
He
this
didn't
out.
sign. He didn't even sign Toby, even though he trying to trade Toby. That's the other thing. We trying to trade Toby and
They said they're not trading Toby. I heard they're not trading Toby.
They were on the chopping block and nobody wanted to offer nothing for it. And you know, Morey's not going to undercut himself for whatever he thinks something's worth.
I think
Well,
they
he did
trying
for
to
Ben.
Tobias.
He did for Harden.
No, he didn't. He didn't think that. No, he didn't think that was a. He didn't think that was less value. You still think Ben Simmons? You think that the Sixers got fleeced for Ben Simmons? We about to see because Ben Simmons is going to be the face of the franchise.
A little bit.
He's going to be the face of the Nets.
No, I mean they got fleeced with giving. I think they got fleeced with giving up too much for Harden.
All right, okay. Ephraim, you was moving on.
I was trying to until you wanted to read other comments. You want to do that again, or we going?
No, I'm cool. My fault.
Okay. All right. We also wanted to address. We're trying to stay a little bit more on topic here, in case y'all don't notice. But we also want to address KD. After Kyrie announces he was going to opt into the $37 million 1 year offer from the Nets, 2 days later, KD announces he wants to trade. And the two possible teams that he wants to go to trade to, that wants to be traded to, is Miami and the Suns. What y'all think about that? Now, if y'all want to ask me real quick, because I'm going to jump in because y'all was talking, so I'm going to interject. This is where I hold Morey accountable, right? And everybody was jumping down, not everybody, but certain people were jumping down me and Ethan throat for saying that Ben should have been traded to Sacramento for Halliburton, Hill, and maybe a draft pick we could have got from them, right? Now imagine if we would have had those players on the table, because we could have still had Drummond, we could have still had Curry, we could have still had our draft picks that we gave up for Harden. Imagine if we had that to possibly offer for KD. Now, KD maybe would have said, I don't want to come here. That's possible. But with Embiid, maybe with Harden, maybe not with Harden, with Embiid, maybe with Maxey, maybe with Curry, maybe with a little bit of wooing, and Harden not being here, because I think KD don't want to play with Harden now, to be honest with you. Maybe with Harden not being here, we might have been able to woo Harden from the Nets to come here with all of those assets. We could have gave the Nets Halliburton, Hill, and somebody else, and them draft picks that we gave them for Harden. We could have gave the guy KD.
You can't trade players like that.
Assets.
You can't trade them twice in the season.
Season's over.
You can't trade them right away. They got to be in your roster at least a year. You can't just trade them after they just.
I don't think it's a year. I gotta look. It's a date. It's a date they gotta get past.
Yeah,
because that happened last year.
I gotta confirm that. I'm just saying we still had our draft picks.
They got rumors saying that Joel Embiid told the Sixers organization to go all in with trying to get KD here.
Joe,
what are we going in with? That's the problem. We gonna trade Maxey?
Yeah, you have to trade Maxey.
I'll trade Maxey for KD, but not for Kyrie.
You have to trade Maxey, Toby, I guess, for the money, Matisse, and maybe throw in some draft picks. Because anybody else, they don't want Korkmaz, they don't want Shake, they don't want nobody, they don't want no other dudes. They might even want Melton. I don't know. Can we trade him this soon?
Does KD want to come and play with Harden now?
You know, it's kind of corny.
I don't know. It seemed like he was taking shots at Harden.
Not seems. He definitely was.
The reason why Brooklyn is where they are right now is because there was a lot of hate going on with Stephen A. Smith for the last 6 months, putting all these thoughts into the general manager and the president's mind of Brooklyn about what Kyrie was doing.
Nobody put thoughts in your mind that ain't there already.
It doesn't matter. He was hyping it. Imagine the hype train every day talking about something. I would only give him a 1 year deal. I wouldn't sign him for no more than 1 year. I would pay him, but I'm only paying for, And so meanwhile, the general manager, he said no general manager ever paid all that money. So they listen to that kind of stuff.
Do you know what he put them through? He hardly played. He hardly played.
What did he put him through? When he said he wasn't going to play, when he said he was worried about playing in the bubble, but then he going to birthday parties. You don't think you don't think that kind of stuff is ridiculous?
He just took the weekend.
You telling them and wait, not even telling them when you're going to come back. They was trying to cover for him the whole time.
They was only mad about because he didn't take the jab. That was the biggest.
I have no problem with him and all those things, but don't sit here and try to make it like he was victimized. He put himself in that. If you're going to stand on your stand, then stand on your stand. But you're going to be addressed like you're going to be called in account for that.
All,
same way with Thibault. When Thibault didn't want to take the shot, he gets called in accountable.
The city of New York had these draconian rules specifically for the basketball players, where you can't work in a city and live in a city and play in a city, but you can be a visitor and play ball. It was like stupid things that made it impossible for him to have just to play regular.
It's a lot of stupid laws.
Hold on. Okay, so did KD still play basketball?
He decided to get the jab.
Okay, listen, but that's what I'm saying.
So before the jab, real quick, Ephraim, before the jab, when he was going, before all of that, when it wasn't even no jab around yet, when he said he was talking like he didn't want to play in the bubble and he didn't want to, when all that time he didn't want to play, but he was going to birthday parties. So what was that?
The birthday party was one day. I act like it was like a whole.
No, it was other times he took off and said for personal reason he left and didn't even remember for like 2 or 3 times last year he left and didn't even form the team. Nash didn't even know where he was at. He was calling him and couldn't get in touch with him. Listen. Calm down. You're not going to dominate the conversation. The valid point is they have valid reasons to be suspect of Kyrie. They have valid reasons. Whether or not, Kyrie is cool with being looked at as suspect. I think he's fine with it. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was just the talking heads that put Kyrie in the situation. Kyrie helped put Kyrie in the situation. But if he's fine being in here, he cool with it. Kyrie gonna get paid. He about to get $37 million. But whether he played for the Nets or not, he's still gonna get $37 million because he opting for it. So they could trade him, and whoever they trade him to will have to pay him. So Kyrie cool. My thing about Kyrie is when you make moves like that, you got to be willing to be held accountable for what you are. And I think he's fine with being held accountable. It's you who trying to jump in the way and take the bullet. Let Kyrie get his – let him – listen, if you had a franchise – so you're telling me if you had a franchise, you wouldn't think about that? I'm not saying you would necessarily even hold it against him. You wouldn't consider that if you're talking about paying him $40 million?
They was going to offer him a max deal at the beginning of the season.
Okay,
so it wasn't about the birthday party. It was all about
the jab. It was about
what I'm saying.
If you had a franchise, would you consider all of the stuff that he? Okay, whatever. You could throw it out the window.
But listen, the argument that y'all made was the reason why they wasn't going to do it because he went to the birthday party. The birthday party wasn't this year. All that stuff that happened with George Floyd, that wasn't this year. That was 2020.
It's a track record he built up.
The only reason why they had a problem with signing him was because it was constant Stephen A. Smith talking about it. And the fact that he refused, they couldn't make him get that jab. He said he wasn't going to do it. He didn't do it. He was a rebellious Negro, and they didn't like it, and that's why they don't want him around no more.
Okay,
that's why they don't want it. It had nothing to do with
you still ain't answer the question. I asked you, if you are owner of a franchise, would you consider the fact of all the stuff that Anders of Kyrie and him leaving and playing what he want to play and taking time off and coming back? Would you not consider that if you about to offer him a long-term $100 million extension?
You asking the wrong person. You asking the wrong person. You asking the wrong person. Tim is the same person that wanted to excuse Ben Simmons saying he wasn't going to play for the Sixers. Exactly. So, of course, he's going to be okay. You know what? Leave Kyrie and keep Ben over there, and you be the Nets fan that you want to be. Exactly. Because like me and Ephraim was saying from the jump about Kyrie and the Nets, we wasn't falling for the okie doke with the Nets. Oh, the Nets, the super team, the team you got to watch out for. They had too many head cases. And now we see KD and Kyrie both head cases.
KD head case too. KD
is still head case.
But KD still want to run. He still want to ball with Kyrie. He still wants to ball with Kyrie.
Mitri Frazier.
Hey, Starscream, you're right.
Mitri Frazier said he was at the birthday party unmasked at that.
Starscream said he got to give an apology to Harden because Harden ain't want to play with Kyrie. Remember all the Nets fans that was mad at Harden because Harden ain't want to play. Harden was telling y'all that it was crazy over there, that organization was out of pocket, that he didn't want to play with that. Hey, now that being said, he did come back in shape and play.
Hey, X-Man, I'm not X-Man and PA Assassin. We not saying anything Tim is saying is wrong. Well, and because Tim is saying the mass media influence the opinions of the owners and general managers. All I'm saying is it may have had a slight effect, but I honestly think I'm thinking from me as a businessman. If I'm about to give somebody $100 million deal, forget the jab stuff. We talking about stuff that Kyrie is on record for playing when he want to play. And even you go back as far as even with Bron. He flaked out on Bron. He went to 3 championships and won one with LeBron and said, "Oh, I don't want to play with you no more. I think I'm on my own team. I'm gonna leave." He flaked out on Bron.
He was a free agent. He had the option
exactly
to leave. Just like LeBron had the option to leave.
He forced a trade, didn't he?
No, yeah, he did force a trade.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Tim is giving out wrong information again.
See what happened was,
go ahead, Ethan.
Y'all bulls like Tim
and
these LeBron haters got Kyrie head so big from that shot when he hit that game-winner shot in games that it wasn't a game-winner, but it was a go-ahead 3-pointer. I think it was ahead, but it might take him ahead more in Game 7 against Golden State. And everybody in their mind was screaming Kyrie won that finals. It went to his head. He was never the same after that finals. He was never the same.
I mean, everybody smelled herself eventually. Once you want to break up, once you get that freedom, you don't want nobody telling you what to do. Sometimes you don't realize that somebody is holding you while you riding a bike. But then he got humbled a little bit. He understood it. He apologized to LeBron. Once y'all gotta let that go. My point though, and I keep going to my original point, even though he did all those things in 2020, the Nets was still willing to offer him, Harden, and Durant a max deal all at the same time. It wasn't.
And then they saw his actions.
No, until his actions was he decided that he did not want to get the jab. And then you can't sit there and be mad. He decided, and the New York City had all them laws, and it messed it up. It wasn't his fault.
Hold up, but you keep
listen. First of all, he stockpiled. Go ahead, my fault. Go ahead.
You keep trying to say it was Stephen A. Smith and them who made the team. Don't you think most of them owners probably got the jab too? And they probably thinking, yo, all right, look, I got it. KD got it. All the other players got it. And you don't want to get it? Come on, man. We paying you 100. We think about paying you. It's the straw. In my opinion, it was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. This is something again and again and again and again. But it's business. It's business. I don't have to pay
Kyrie is horrible.
But
Kyrie is horrible. He's horrible for team chemistry. Let's keep it a bean. The only place where he was really successful like that was because he had possibly the greatest player ever on his team. The questionable, the arguable greatest player ever on his team to channel that and put him in his position. So
they know Tim. They already know Tim.
Yeah, Chris.
Everywhere else, think about it. He went to KD. I mean, Kyrie went to Boston. There was issues over there with him in Boston. Everywhere he goes, there's issues.
All right, but let's ask about this though, because I don't think we actually addressed what we really wanted to talk about. Is if KD goes to either one of those teams, Miami or Phoenix, what they looking like, and how does that shift the balance of power in either of those conferences?
No, that's what you want to talk about, and we know why.
Oh, they first in the division. I mean, they
and what? Okay, in Miami or Phoenix.
Let's see who Miami gives up. I think like Miami might have to give up Hero. He's up for max, so they might do like a sign and trade because I know they're about to offer him like a $4-year, $110 million deal or something like that. So they might trade Hero. They lost PJ Tucker, which to me can be replaced. I don't know, but I mean, you got Jimmy, but he's getting older and he's injury prone. KD a little injury prone too. I think he's better off going to Phoenix. He goes to Phoenix and they don't give up as much. They'll be a surefire.
They would have to probably give up Ayton because who already wants to leave anyway, and maybe some draft picks or another.
Maybe player. Bridges too.
Maybe Mikal Bridges, somebody like that. Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and a draft pick or something. I'm saying. Because that will actually kind of work because KD and Mikal Bridges play the same position at small forward anyway. So now you will have Chris Paul, Booker, and what's the dude name? I don't know why I want to call him Boozer. What's the dude with the pullback braids? What's his name? Who played with Bron? Didn't he play with Bron or play with Miami or something? What's the dude? I can't remember.
That's right. Hold on. Kyrie did do this. Somebody said Kyrie did like not play half the season that year when KD was coming like the next year for the Nets. Did he quit on that season?
He
said he got hurt, I think, right? I think he's
no, the first year of the bubble when he tapped out, and then the team went into the bubble playoffs playing without him. And X-Man, I agree. KD is drama. That's why I said KD and Kyrie. That's why when me and Ephraim was talking about when the Nets put this super team together, we said we're going to see how it pans out with KD and Kyrie because they both had cases.
Yeah, I agree. Queese, where you been at? Yeah, but I agree. Nets probably do want Booker. I don't know if Sun's going to give him money.
I don't think Sun's giving up Booker. If you're going to bring KD there, I don't think you should.
You're not giving
if
up.
You're trying to win the championship, you're not giving up Booker.
Well,
KD and Chris Paul, I don't think is enough to win you a championship.
Booker just signed $200 million deal.
You said KD, Chris Paul, and Booker not enough to win?
I said KD and Chris Paul without Booker is not enough to win.
Well, they already re-signed Booker.
That's what I'm saying. But no, he was saying if they trade Booker to the Nets,
they can't trade him now.
Why? Because he got the max deal. You can't trade him
because he already signed, unless it was a sign and trade deal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think KD will want to go there without Booker. I don't think KD and Chris Paul is enough to win it.
He'll be right back where he started.
Exactly.
I think KD's best option probably is coming here with the Sixers. I think we have enough capital and trade and picks to get him. And this to be, I mean,
we don't have picks to trade. We don't have picks to trade.
Huh?
You got to give
the Sixers can't.
The
Sixers can't trade any more picks. They can't trade any more picks for
you can do as many pick swaps as you want. Yes, you can.
You can't trade picks though. Like you can't trade
as many trade pick swaps as you want.
So why would you, as the Nets, do a trade pick swap with the Sixers, who's going to have a worse draft position than you? Why would you do that?
You could do it. You could do it for like 20, whatever year you want.
But for the next few years, the Sixers can't trade. They can't just trade and give up their number one picks for the next few years because they already gave
swaps. You can do swaps. You can do like
they can't trade nothing until 2027.
You can do a 2025 swap, 2027 swap.
But why would they swap it? The Sixers are going to have
because thinking. Hold on, it's 2022.
If you give the Sixers KD, you think you're going to have a better? The Sixers going to have a worse record than the Nets.
Listen, if you think it's 2022, how long you think he'll be here? So we could do a 2025 swap, 2026 swap, 2027 swap. Horrible best for you.
No, some of that is you gotta kind of predict a little bit on what you because it's a possibility that KD won't be there after his contract run out. Like who's guaranteeing that KD? Some of that's gambling. Yeah, some of that's just kind of you playing your margins, or you playing kind of how you feel the market in a business sense, how you feel the market going to go. So you think, well, in 3 years, I think KD might try to go and play in Miami, or in 3 years, I might think he might go and play with Phoenix, so he won't be there, and they're going to be garbage after that.
Same people making that deal be talking about how Morey's an idiot for giving up all these draft swaps and stuff that many.
Not if you want a chip.
I just think if we'd have traded, what's up, Melo taught me a sneaky trade.
They couldn't even keep Jalen Brunson, so they didn't know where in the world they're gonna be able to do a trade for KD.
But I do think if him and Luka end up together, that will be a vicious combination. Luka would have to learn to play off the ball a little bit more because he's very ball dominant. But you put him and Luka together, I do think that's a vicious combination if you go to Dallas.
So y'all think Kyrie forces trade, or you think Kyrie is the reason KD wanted this trade? I think Golden State winning and KD looking at the Nets thinking he can't win with them, so he want to go somewhere where he can win because he's a little feel a little certain way because Stephen don't want another chip. If you ask me, so he wants to go to the team that gives him the best opportunity to win a chip.
Yeah, he's a competitor, so obviously he wants to win another championship. But at the same time, I think he would have rolled it out with Kyrie. But the way Brooklyn is treating Kyrie, he like that's his man. So he's like, okay.
You know what he did, Tim? You know what he did, Tim?
No,
He looked and he saw Ben Simmons as being the hope for them, and he said, "Ain't no way, boy."
He approved the trade for Ben Simmons.
I agree with that.
Who signed up on the trade for Ben Simmons? Well, they know Kyrie's not going to be on that roster by the time the season begins. They're gonna either buy him out or they're gonna do some type of trade for him. So that's why KD's like, listen, I need to go. That's the main reason why he requested a trade, because he knows that Kyrie not gonna be there.
Somebody also said a sneaky trade offer might be KD to Washington. You know, he from that area. Bill just re-signed with Washington. Bill together might be able to make some noise, so that might be a possibility for them. I do think his best option to win, honestly, is Phoenix. If they could get a good deal, if they gave up Mikal Bridges and Ayton and a pick and got KD in there, but they got a pretty nice bench. Obviously, Chris Paul and Booker, they will be a problem. They'll be a problem.
I think Phoenix might be. I mean, the Nets might be looking to go young though. I mean, because if you trade Kyrie and you trade KD, you looking at trying to start over a little bit, get some draft
build around Ben. But
what about some young talent?
What about Denver?
Ben's going too. I heard they want Ben out of there too.
I mean, if Denver
going to be the coach, he got to clear house.
Yeah, I think Ben going to be out of there too. I think Denver, but you got to be willing to give up who? Jamal Murray and Porter. Like, yeah. I mean, I think if you keep Jamal Murray and Porter, they are my favorite to be in contention with Golden State and the Phoenix get KD. I think Denver will have a bomb squad if they can stay healthy.
If Jamal Murray come back like Jamal Murray, he don't come back like Klay Thompson.
Hey, Jamar, is it Jamar who said somebody asked who did KD bail on? KD bailed on Russ. Remember that? Remember in OKC when him and Westbrook were supposed to be re-signing and they was going to run it back and they was going to do that stuff. And then because Westbrook re-signed the year before and then KD was like, I'm out. And he slid out. You know, KD, and I'm not mad at KD. This is my thing. I'm not mad at any of these dudes making whatever moves they feel like they want to do for their career. But that being said, if you're going to do that, expect you're going to like. I'm not mad at Harden if he want to go out and he want to party and do this, that, and other. But you better ball. And if you don't ball, when people call you on it and they dog you out about it, it's justified. You could do whatever you want, but just know you're going to catch its consequences and repercussions.
A lot of people on here saying that they think KD is not a competitor, that he's trying to find the easy way out and all this, that, and the third. I'm not going to say. I mean, I do. I think you can question it. Since he left and played for Golden State, once he did that move, I think you can question his competitive nature and wanting to fight through the grind and win, as they say, the hard way. But at the same time, I think he also realized that the impact that most people, especially unfortunate people that matter when it comes to ranking you as greats, rank the rings. So I think he realized I got to go get some rings. I got to go some championships, and I'll let the rest do what it do. If y'all going to hate on me for winning and I won, I got the rings, and ain't nothing y'all can say to take it from me. And I still got the game to prove I'm a great player. Now, is he great enough to be the sole or the main orchestrator of a championship? That's what we got to find out now. If he goes to Phoenix, he'll be the guy. I mean, Devin Booker, that bull, but we saw what happened with them the last couple years. I mean, they wasn't able to pull it off. If they got KD, oh yeah, they going to the championship. I think they'll be Golden State.
I heard somebody saying this, and they made a good point. It's the way people talk in the social media era that kind of force these players to force themselves in a situation where they try to win a chip. Because in this era, it's almost like if you don't win a chip, you're not good. Like if Barkley was playing in this era right now, he wouldn't be good because he ain't win a chip. If Malone was playing this era, he wouldn't be good if he didn't win a chip. The way the social media is and the sports talk, if you don't win a chip in this era, you're considered a bum.
Yeah, but that's why I don't agree with that. Like when people argue stuff, like some people want to talk about Harden not being as great as he has been because he hasn't won chip. Like I don't agree with that type of. It takes a team to win chips. That's just like kind of a little bit a teaser. We're going to do at one point during the summer. We're going to do a top 10 list. You know, we talking about maybe discussing that, but we're going to do a top 10 list of all time. And sometimes it's like even some guys may not have won as many chips as other guys, but it takes teams to win those.
No, I agree. No, I absolutely. I mean, I reference quite often Dominique Wilkins. If you pull Dominique Wilkins' stats, him and Kobe's stats is almost identical. He had a great career, great scorer, solid defender, the whole nine. I mean, but nobody looks at Dominique. When you mention greats, you could probably name 50 names and Dominique Wilkins won't pop into your head until later. You might be like, oh, yeah, Dominique. That's because he don't have no championships. If Dominique won 2 rings, the whole narrative would be different about his whole career. Same thing.
But in this era, you know who's going to be the Dominique in this era? Melo.
Carmelo. Yeah, Carmelo, Dame, Lillard, probably Dame. I think Dame to me is better than Melo. If I was ranking him, I would rank Dame over Melo. But if Dame don't win no rings, he will be the Dominique probably of this generation or the Barkley. But only about Barkley's probably a little bit more
I might
relevant.
take Melo over Dame.
Because Barkley is still in the media. You would take Melo over Dame?
I think I take Melo over Dame.
Prime Melo. See,
you
got to try to
Melo,
separate
Prime Melo, and Prime Dame. I'm taking Prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to try to separate Prime Melo from what this Melo is right now.
Yeah.
How far did Prime Melo ever go?
About as far
Dominique
as
was Dominique was a monster. He averaged I don't think Melo ever averaged 30 in his career. Dominique did it like 3 times.
Yes, he did. Him and Iverson both averaged 30 on the same.
No, he didn't. I don't think Melo averaged 30. I think Melo averaged 30 in his career.
Melo averaged 30 to him and Iverson. They both.
No, he didn't.
They did. Look it up.
I did.
They did.
Hey, D Market, real quick. D Market said earlier about Embiid being a real one for staying down with Philly. I agree, but it's a couple other players. You got to give Steph Curry that same type of props. I mean, even though Steph already won, and then he decided to stay there and rock it out with them. But you got Giannis. I just watched that Giannis document, that Giannis life story.
Melo never averaged 30.
Man,
you see,
that's another dude that these guys that stick with their squads, I'm putting them over. These guys that have rotted out with a squad, Dame to an extent is like that, but then Dame kind of goofy with it a little bit. Dame played too many games to me, but I actually do give guys credit that rotted out with a squad, you know what I'm saying, and try to build that squad up to a certain extent.
I'm taking Dame Prime, Dame Lillard, in my opinion, over Melo. Dame took his team to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not sure if Melo ever got that far. Even with he had a goofy coach a little bit, so some of that is you could.
He also was going against Brian every year.
Who?
When he was in New York. Melo when he was in New
York.
York.
In New York. I'm talking about Denver. Denver was
hold. They got hosed in Denver. I would never forget. I think it was game 5.
We get going like this a little bit.
Yeah.
No, real quick. He got hosed in Denver. They called him for 4 offensive fouls in a game and fouled him out in a game that turned that series in for the Spurs one of those years. He got hosed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of that you could put in there, but we're going to talk about all that down. We got all summer to kind of address some of these topics too, because that's some good stuff to talk about. But we did want to talk about Jamar Oliver Dame has been to the conference finals. You know what he went to the conference finals? He went to the conference finals the year in 2019 when KD got hurt and they got swept by Golden State. That's how I remember. Dame has been to the conference finals. That was the Western Conference Finals.
Everybody said Melo was too against the Lakers.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm not sure. So Jamar, you're talking to a basketball historian. You know I know my stuff. Dame has been there at least once. He ain't never been twice, but he was once. I forgot about Melo though. I'm not sure what year that was. But we did want to talk about a comment that Shaq made earlier, and I think it was a couple days ago or something. He mentioned they was asking him how many superstars, NBA superstars, are in the league. He said it's only 4 superstars in the league. The 4 superstars he named was LeBron, Curry, Giannis, and KD. Do y'all agree with that?
Superstars.
Yes. Now, Jay Will and a couple other dudes didn't agree. They said, nah, this person's a star. That person's a superstar. They said Devin Booker was a superstar. He even said that
what makes a person a superstar?
To me, a superstar is 3 things that make you a superstar. What? Your game, your name, and your fame. If you're that great of a player, if your fame is to the point where somebody is thinking about famous people or they see you, if somebody see you, they know who you are. Most people, even people who don't watch basketball, oh, that's such and such. That's LeBron. That's Curry. Now, to me, LeBron is not even a superstar. LeBron is an icon. He on a whole nother level. I think it's actually doing LeBron disservice to say he was a superstar. He's past that. Steph Curry is a superstar. I think KD is a superstar, and I think Giannis, in my opinion, Giannis is not a superstar yet. I don't think he's that recognizable for people who are not basketball fans to be like, yo, that's Giannis. They might see he's tall, but I don't know if they would necessarily.
You know where I might disagree with you a little bit because so you're just talking about in the United States. Because I think that players like Giannis and Embiid might have. I think players like Giannis and Embiid may have that in the United States and then even have it overseas too.
Embiid not a superstar.
No,
he's not recognizable
because he's 7'2".
Huh? No, I'm saying you don't think that. So he's not on commercials or anything, national commercials or anything.
What's the name? Was actually Harden was actually on his way to be a superstar, and his fall is just kind of great.
Still, Harden was a superstar.
No, I think Harden is a superstar.
He's not anymore. He was.
He's a superstar.
You hold on. You can be a superstar and not a superstar anymore. I don't think it works like that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Once you become a superstar,
you're a superstar.
But you know, well, my thing is, if you're saying so, is if they're not playing at a superstar level right now, they're still considered a superstar.
Real quick, that's what I want to know.
He has been in the conference finals. Check your stats. It's 2019. Portland played against Golden State in the Western Conference Finals. I'm sorry to keep going back here. Check your stats, Oliver.
So if a person's no longer, if they're no longer playing at a superstar level, you still call them a superstar.
Wasn't Shaq always a superstar even if he wasn't playing superstar level? Wasn't Kobe always a superstar?
Harden's a superstar then. I mean, if you go by that, I don't think Harden played like a superstar toward the end and in the playoffs, but Harden was a superstar. He was superstar status.
I think
Harden finished with the second highest selling jersey this year. He still has fame. He's a superstar. He didn't. He stunk it up.
I don't think Harden is as recognizable as LeBron. I don't think he's a recognizable.
Hey, tell him how hand crease. Disney Plus. He said Disney Plus says otherwise. Giannis.
That's what I want to know. I want to know how that show was.
X-Men.
That would tell a lot.
That movie was actually good, and it was one of the top viewed ones that's on there. People watching it.
I don't think Harden was a superstar in my opinion. I think superstar means you, in my opinion. All right, now everybody can have their own qualifications as to what a superstar is. In my opinion, a superstar transcends the game of basketball. You could be noticed by a good majority of people, an overwhelming majority of people who don't watch basketball. That to me takes you to another level of superstardom where I'm walking down the street and my wife would be like, "Oh, that's such and such," and she don't even watch basketball like that. She'd be like, "Oh, that's LeBron, no doubt. That's Steph Curry, no doubt. That's KD, no doubt." I don't think Giannis, Harden, Dame has reached that level. I think there's a lot of people who haven't reached superstar level. That's another level of having fame, your name. When they hear your name, they know who you are. When they see your face, you famous, they know who you are. And your game is good enough to have you on that level.
But again, are you talking locally or internationally? Because
I'm
you
talking
have people like
worldwide.
Giannis, that's just like over here when he was drafted. Like a lot of people over here didn't necessarily know who Giannis was, but over in Europe and all
that's what I'm saying.
Places, they knew who he was.
That's still the world, though. I'm saying worldwide.
Okay, even for real, even Luka Doncic, worldwide. If you're talking about worldwide being known, like he's known worldwide.
Luka, these are two dudes that's right there. Luka and Ja. They're right there. So we'll see what happens.
He ain't had a game. I don't think Ja to me probably has another. In most cases, truth be told, to be a superstar, you got to win a championship. Because once you start, it's like a Super Bowl. Once you start winning, people know who you are. And I'm not saying championship because it's a ring. I'm saying championship because the fame that comes along with winning the championship. You know how many more people know? You realize it's Curry, but in this playoffs, right? Steph Curry had 41 million Instagram followers. After they won the championship, he's up to 45 million Instagram. He got 3 million Instagram followers in a total like 2 months. Because
can I ask you something?
When you win, people recognize
you. How many people do you think know Chris Paul? Chris Paul never won a championship, but everybody know Chris Paul, all that stuff, don't they? So is he known? So if somebody walking down the street, they see Chris Paul, you don't think they know Chris Paul?
No.
The majority of people who don't watch basketball, I don't know.
Commercials.
They no, because first of all, Chris Paul looks like everybody else because he's not that tall.
You might see his face and be like, "Oh, he looks familiar," but I don't necessarily know. You'd be like, "Oh, that's Chris Paul." If most people don't watch basketball, they might call him Cliff Paul. They might think he's Cliff. They might not even know he's a.
You tell him, Mar. Karl Malone was a superstar. Barkley was a superstar. Neither one of them won titles.
I don't think it was. I don't.
They wasn't superstars.
Barkley was a superstar.
Barkley might be actually more famous now after he played than while he played. Y'all realize that Barkley's probably more famous now in the booth than he was as a player.
As a player,
think about that. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think Karl Malone.
Let me tell you,
he's a superstar.
Do you remember the Dream Team? Remember the Dream Team? And they went overseas. Everybody knew who everybody was on the Dream Team except John Stockton, because John Stockton looked like the average like tourist guy that was out there. But everybody else that was there, they knew who the NBA stars were.
And in that Dream Team squad, they said Barkley would get the loudest reaction from the crowds out of everybody besides Jordan when they got on there. Barkley was internationally famous.
So he didn't get the loudest reaction.
I said besides Jordan.
Yo, but you the way you try to say it is Barkley get the loudest reaction besides Jordan, but he didn't get the loudest reaction.
Besides Jordan, he did.
Now, Kimberly Davis. Kimberly Davis.
Yeah, Kim.
I will concede to that.
Hey, Kim, that's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Kim,
AI different. AI different.
AI was a cultural icon, which probably boosted him to be a superstar. I kind of agree. He changed the face of basketball. This is why he was different, in my opinion, than Barkley and Karl Malone. Even though they were very famous, they were stars. Superstar AI changed the face of basketball. He had bulls wearing cornrows and tattoos to an unprecedented level in and outside the sport. This is why, in my opinion, Steph Curry is a superstar because he literally changed the game of basketball. LeBron is an icon because they talk about LeBron every day on every sports topic in out the world. LeBron's name comes up in some fashion. This is why he's same thing with Jordan. LeBron got the sneaker stills. He got the face. He got the name. He has the game. He has everything. All these players didn't have that. Karl Malone had game. He had a little bit of the name. Did he have the fame? Did he have the sneaks? Did he have all this stuff makes you a superstar level? I don't think I honestly think it's probably about 15 players in the last 20 to 30 years that have legitimately reached superstar level. I don't
according to your
my definition, yes. And that's the only one that really matters.
Because my thing is, honestly, if you look at just like somebody like Jamar said, like Barkley, anything else is uncivilized. People knew who Barkley was, other than they knew what Barkley was.
And at one point, Chris Webber was at that level of superstardom. Between his college days,
Barkley could actually go in a bar, sit down, and have a drink. Could LeBron do that?
No, he couldn't. That's why he kept getting in bar fights because people knew who he was.
No, he would go in there and sit down. He would go in there and sit down, have a drink. Can LeBron do that?
Barkley went in there to sit down and drink, and Bulls knew who he was. That's why Barkley kept. That's not
fair. But that's not. You got to ask more. You got to compare Barkley more to Steph because, like I said, LeBron is like Muhammad Ali. He like Jordan. He's an icon all to himself. I don't think it's fair to put him in the superstar level.
Barkley went into bars and got into fights. He got into fights because he was trying to sit in there with the regular people, and then they would sit there and say they know that he's Charles Barkley, and they tried him. That's why he had to throw the ball through the window. These people do know who he didn't know who he was.
So who would you give legendary status to then?
You mean playing now or
like all time? Like who is legendary? Not just they just like legends. Like
is playing now or all time?
All time.
Jordan legend.
No, Jordan, no doubt. Jordan and Bron, no doubt.
Jordan, Magic, Bron.
I say Dr. J.
Nah, I don't think Doc
ain't.
Like
no, I'm giving Dr. J. Somebody said that again.
Yeah, Doc is kind of close to legend. He's definitely legend in Philly. He's close to legend, and I mean, if you want to just say at least from a United States perspective, he probably legendary status. But I'm talking about worldwide. I guess I'm still thinking about the whole superstar icon legendary from a worldwide perspective. You definitely got Magic Johnson, you got Jordan, and you got LeBron.
And you got Iverson. And
Iverson. I would honestly say Iverson broke the mold. He was very different. He was known everywhere.
So was Yao Ming a superstar? I don't even know about
Curry yet. I don't even know if Curry's on that. He's probably getting to that level, but I don't know if he's on that level.
Was Yao Ming a superstar?
In China.
China's like 1/4 for the world. So if they knew him in China, then that means everybody know him, right?
Regionally,
X-Men. I'm talking about how many X-Men. He's X-Men. How many people knew Doc overseas? I don't know. If you go overseas and you mention Doc in different countries, where they be like Dr. J, they know who he is. We know who he is. He a legend here. He a legend in the States. But you talking about legendary worldwide status like Michael Jackson. Like how many people could say they reached the level of Michael Jackson as an artist? Like
nobody.
Could Justin Timberlake say, I'm on Michael? That's what I'm saying. Michael Jackson was on a whole nother. This was Jordan, LeBron. They like Michael Jacksons. They're on a whole nother plateau.
Like, I think more people probably know who Michael Jackson is than probably like, I don't know.
They own kids are.
Yeah.
Of course, Michael Jackson was international. Like everybody.
More people know Michael Jackson.
He had people fainting in Europe and in Asia. Michael Jackson's a whole different level.
Jermaine said this argument is flawed. You could argue that more people knew Robin than stuff.
I'm talking about now. That's what I said. To me, it's a little bit of everything. It's not just. I said it's three things. Y'all follow me. It's your game, your name, and your fame. That's in my opinion what makes you a superstar. And then when you start talking about iconic level, that's another level. but your game has to be such where you dominate the league in some kind of fashion. Your name has to be recognizable. Somebody say, "Oh, that's Steph Curry." You instantly know who he is. It ain't like, "Oh, that's such and such." And then your face is that recognizable. Somebody see you and they be like, "Oh, that's whatchamacallit. That's LeBron.
Man.
That's KD. That's Steph." That's
when non-basketball people see Steph Curry, they say, "Oh, that's Aisha's husband." That's what they say.
Don't do that.
I don't know. Epic plays in my top 10. I might be edging Larry Bird out with KD.
KD definitely top 10.
Huh?
We gonna have that list for y'all next week. We definitely gonna have a list for y'all. Our top 10 list. We will have it next week. All four of us gonna come together and we'll individually have our top 10.
We will. Hey, Jamar, I want to apology because Dame
Curry does not make my top 10. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of moving and shaking.
Robin different too. Robin like known on that weirdo vibe.
Yeah, he was
but superstar. That's like trying to say Kim. That's like trying to say Kim Kardashian not a superstar because of where her stardom came from. She's still a superstar.
Oh yeah, she definitely. Yeah, she's iconic. She on a whole nother level. That
never mind. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this
hold on. One more comment. Rookstock Tim said Barkley was a close second to MJ as a famous basketball player in the world. I gotta meditate on that for a minute. And maybe I am undervaluing Barkley just a little bit, but Jordan was definitely on a whole nother level. I don't think he was a close second. If he was second, he was a distant second to Jordan. But I gotta look at that. I will say this. One way you can tell this is a small microcosm of how you can tell a player's superstar status is to check how many Instagram followers he got. I think that's
Instagram.
No, I said now. Follow the conversation. I said now today.
Right.
About you found a player Instagram, you can kind of LeBron got over like 120 million Instagram followers. That's insane. So most people who got Instagram, they follow people who famous. That's what normally happens. I think Steph Curry is the second most followed NBA basketball player with like 44, 45 million. And your boy Chris Paul Wayne got like 11 million followers. So, but that's what I'm saying. I think.
No, but you said Chris Paul wasn't a superstar.
That's what I know. That's why he only got 11 million followers.
All right, y'all.
Because he only got 11 million.
Yeah, he only got 11 million. That's not that high.
Good conversation that we had. We appreciate the support and the love. Continue supporting us. Continue watching us. You know where you can catch us on all.
I mean, it might not be
a whole hour.
I'm not.
We popping. We going to separate it anyway.
I'm not popping. I'm not always into the Instagram. I don't even have Instagram. I just know.
Hey, Rome, I do got the different computer. This is actually the real computer we have, not the one that I got to do my podcast. So it definitely is a better computer.
I mean, Jamar, I don't know. I mean, I am a little outside my realm. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter and none of that. So, I mean, there might be some bot following and all that, some, whatever that means. I guess that's a computer generated thing. Maybe that's what y'all saying, y'all young people. That's what they call them now. But
no, young people. You officially old. You officially old.
That was your young people. I call it now. But my thing
probably
is,
60 years old. You talk about y'all.
You can buy followers, right?
But you ain't. But I mean, I guess. But you ain't going to tell me that
you can.
Okay. But my thing is, But so Curry is buying followers. LeBron is buying followers.
You got to look at interaction. Like a lot of people have 10 comments, but 20 million followers, or 8,000 views, and you got 20 million followers. It got to add up. It got to line up to what it is.
Hey, Ephraim, guess what? You know who's third on the most Instagram followers behind Steph and Brian?
I think it's KD.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, it's Westbrook. Because what? But think about it. But Westbrook is also venturing into different things. He got a little clothing line and all that kind of stuff. Westbrook actually makes irrelevant.
So we just talking about basketball superstar status, or you talking about superstar status? See that's what I'm saying. That's where it comes in. I get what Shaq's saying. Shaq might be saying like the guys that he think is like that top super. I don't know if Shaq's saying just talent wise or whatever, but I don't even agree with that list that he gave if he just talked talent wise. But that's.
I mean,
that's debatable. But it's all about what your personal
is. Hot hand crease. I think
next podcast. We'll be back next Thursday.
I'm shutting us down, y'all.
Don't get the like, comment,
we got to deal with. Y'all was joining.
I ain't got nothing to do. Let's go.
All right, y'all.
Let's go. We clipping in Second City. Wait, Tim, stop it.